Hello everyone, this is Dushyyk aka Dushyyk and welcome to Dushyyk Writes. I'm back with the review of a book, Tale of the Vanquished by Anand Neelkantan. This is Anand Neelkantan's debut novel and it broke into the top sellers chart within a week of its launch. It was subsequently republished in many other languages. Let's start with a short summary of the book. The story takes place at a time when the Deva rulers and their armies are taking over a country from the old rulers of the Asuras and their army. The brutal and inhumane war forms the backdrop of the story's beginning. This is a story of Ravanna and his people. The book follows the fictional story of two primary characters. Ravanna, a poor son of a Brahmin father and a Asura mother, a father whose family he has abandoned. And Bhadra, a poor farmer whose family, including a young daughter, was brutally murdered by the Deva raiders on one of their campaigns. The only thing common between these two people is their hatred for the rampaging Devas and a certain disgust for their own actions. The other thing common between them is a vermin-like capacity to survive no matter the situation. In every other way, they are very different. Ravanna is physically strong, handsome, tall, and a natural leader of men. Bhadra is dark, pot-bellied, weak, and pitiful. The story begins right at the end. Ravanna is first introduced to us, and slowly his story is joined by that of Bhadra's. We see the world of Asuras through their eyes. We see an angry and beaten Ravanna who, through sheer willpower and hostility, begins the rise of the Asura Empire to eventually become the ruler of all of India. Bhadra, on the other hand, is propelled only by the will to survive. His desperation and will to please Ravanna push him to immense actions of strength, valor, and cunning, all for it to disappear when that fleeting moment passes. After that, you are left with a weak, broken man who feels worthless. A young Ravanna goes into hiding once along with his brothers, where they have a chance meeting with an old Asura ruler who has gone into hiding. Under his guidance, Ravanna learns the old Asura manners and way of ruling. After this chance meeting, Ravanna does not look back. He sees his ambition materializing in front of him. Some of the Asuras from the old ranks, after seeing the hunger and fire in Ravanna, join him. Ravanna, with the help of these handful men, builds an empire so that his people, the Asuras, can live with pride and honor, just like they did in their glorious past. But can a utopian society really exist? What sacrifices does he make to achieve his dream? Chase power and take care of his family. How and why his mighty empire crumbles right in front of him forms the complete story. Other principal characters are Sita, who is Ravana's daughter, the two young princes of Ayodhya, Bhadra's wife and her son, Ravana's brothers and his counselors, and all these characters play a vital role in taking the story forward. Now, for my review. It is true that history is written by the victor, but there is always the narrative of the vanquished which lingers on. It is mentioned in hush whispers, myths, and legends. The first opportunity that it gets, this narrative finds its voice and jumps out to make a case. This is a book of one of such voices. It is written from the point of view of the Asuras, who were once a mighty and proud race and were routed out by the Devas from their own homes and kingdoms. We have been listening to stories from the Ramayana from before we could talk, and so the central characters and their names are so ingrained in our memory that it is difficult for us to fathom them in any other guise. Unlike similar stories written around these central characters, I did not find it hard to adjust to the narrative here, as the primary character is the one about whom we know very little. The story is narrated in flashback and moves in a linear manner from there. The storyline is easy to follow, and you will not find yourself turning the pages back and fro to keep track of the story. All of the characters are very well written, and each one has a rich backstory. Each new character helps in taking the story forward. The writing is simple, and you will not be required to sit with a dictionary to read through the pages. While it is not wise to make comparisons, but while the Ramchandra series by Amish focuses on a deviation from the original mythological story, in this one, the writer has made an honest attempt to highlight the rampant and still relevant caste system that exists in our society. Bhadra, in one of his commentaries, confesses that he himself does not know why he behaves in such an inhuman way with people of castes lower than him. But he knows no other way. The people of castes higher than him treat him in that way, and he assumes that that's how you treat those who are below you. In many aspects, this book also shows a mirror to the society in general about people with darker or browner skin are treated differently. The tempo of the book is a bit up and down. Scenes with the highs of battle and action punctuate what is basically a sad commentary on the state of society. This is Anand Neelkantan's first book, and in some passages of the book, I could make out that it was. His obvious attempt to show the devils of the caste and the varna system form an underlying theme of the book. The general hypocracy of the human race is also displayed abundantly through the book. Also portrayed, though subtly, is the helplessness of women in having any sort of control over their own futures. If you get a chance, I would recommend you to read this book. The writer's description of each of the characters is simply superb, and the writing during the wars is wonderful as well. Please read a complete and detailed review of the book on my blog site www.dushyyk.com, the link of which is mentioned in the description below. Please also do not forget to like and subscribe. Please hit the bell icon to get regular notification from my channel, and please send me your feedback if you have any. Thank you so much for your time.